Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs that sell. And if you stay tuned till the end of the video, I have another 5 bonus niches for you. So in today's video, I want to share with you what I learned after analyzing some of my sales for the last 90 days, going back a few years, after looking at some of the best sellers. So I am on Amazon. I am on my Amazon merch page, and I'm actually on the Pretty Merch Pro Plus analytics page. And so what I have here is my analytics for the last 90 days. And so some of the things that I really wanted to show you, some of the big main messages, right? So what you can see, and I've got, obviously lots and lots of listings here that have sold, but the number one seller, because this is based on rank, made over 1,000 sales in the last 90 days. So over 1,000 sales in the last 90 days, that's over 300 sales every month. The next biggest seller has only made 69 sales. After that, 61 sales. Then it really drops: 25 sales, 18 sales, 50 sales. So you may be familiar with the 80-20 principle, and what that kind of says is that 80% of your income or 80% of your sales is going to come from 20% of your designs. For me, it's a lot closer to like 90-10, right? So what I can see here is, although I've got a lot of different designs selling, I only have one design that's really selling a lot. And after kind of looking at my top 25 sellers, so I went down and looked at all the top 25 sellers and saw the year that they were made. And so this was what I found that was really interesting. My top seller here, the one that has made over 1,000 sales in the last 90 days, I put that design up in 2021, right? 2021. So that was a long time ago. The design took me maybe 15 minutes to make, and to this day has made over $15,000, I think, for one 20-minute design that I made back in 2021. Now, the interesting thing about this design, after really looking specifically at this one, was the fact that it took a while to grow. So I went back, specifically looked at statistics. In 2021, when I put this design up, it only made 8 sales that year. So I put up a design, made 8 sales that entire year. The next year, in 2022, that same design made 325 sales. So that's a pretty good jump, but 325 sales is less than 1 sale a day averaging, right? The next year, in 2023, that same design made 929 sales. And then last year, in 2024, that one design made 3,489 sales. So what you can see is year after year after year, the sales on that one design that I made back in 2021 have risen exponentially. Now, this design is one that I'm not advertising, so it's just all organic stuff. But what we see happening here is, as sales grow and you get more reviews, Amazon is more likely to push that product. And the more reviews you get, the more people are willing to trust and buy that product. So when you first put up a design, there's no reviews on it. It doesn't have any kind of backing to it. It's a little bit harder to get sales unless it's something trending. But if we're talking about an evergreen design, one that's going to sell year after year, it tends to grow year after year as it gets more sales and as it gets more reviews. And then Amazon starts pushing it more until eventually it becomes Amazon's choice. And of course, once it's Amazon's choice, people are way more likely to buy it because they see it as Amazon's choice. And so it is something that will grow year after year after year. Now, if I was to just have put that design up in 2021, looked at it, said it only made 8 sales this year, I could have easily been like, I'm going to delete it. It's not making enough sales. That would have been a huge mistake. And I'm so glad I didn't delete it, because now here I am. It's years later, but it is essentially making me passive income. So right now, I am averaging over 300 sales every month on this one design that I made years ago, and it's completely passive. I put it up. It took me 15 minutes to do. I sit back, and every month, the money from those sales comes in without my having to do anything at all. So it is a bit of a long-term game, game, right? You might not make a lot of money right away, but if you start now and you wait a few years, the passive money will start coming in. And that's just what I found off of this, you know, one design that I thought was really interesting. When I went through and looked at my top 25 selling designs, what I found was of the top 25 selling, now this is within the last 90 days, by the way, 11 of them were made in 2021. 6 of them were made in 2022. Only 4 were made in 2023, and only 4 were made in 2024. What that tells me is the longer it's been up, the more sales it makes, right? My top 25 sellers, most of them have been up the longest. So they do grow year after year. And sometimes you'll put a design up and it might not sell at all that first year. And then the second year it sells a little. And then the third year, all of a sudden it starts selling a lot. And then the fourth year it starts selling like a whole lot, right? And so that's kind of the message that I wanted to share with you in terms of that. So then I found myself wondering, well, is this true of most of the other designs? So I went ahead and looked at what is actually, the top sellers now across Amazon. So I am on Pretty Merch Pro Plus research tab now. And what it does is it's going to show me the top selling shirts, so the lowest BSRs that are right now. And some of these we're going to ignore because what we have is like, well, Star Wars and Mickey Mouse is stuff that we're not going to sell. But a lot of the other stuff we can go ahead and take a look at. So right now, the top sellers in Easter design, obviously it only sells for Easter, but I can click on that and it's going to give me, let's see, this one's been up for 2 years. Okay, so not too old. That one was made in 2023. So let's go to the next one. This one was made 3 years ago, so in 2022. So ignoring some of the, Star Wars and Disney stuff, and these are song lyrics, so I don't know about that. Just the top line, 2 Easter designs, and they have been up for a couple of years now. So I'll keep scrolling down. Here's another one. It's weird being the same age as old people. This one has been up for 2 years. Here is a funny Easter tie. This one's been up for 6 years, right? And so what we're seeing is that a lot of the top sellers have been up for a long time. So if you're uploading something now to compete with them, it is going to be hard to compete with that same design or that same exact niche because they already have a lot of reviews and they have, a standing. In fact, if I come back up to the top line, let's say this one has 63 reviews. This one has 95 reviews, right? This one only has 13 reviews. That's not too much considering how many years it's been up there. But, you're going to have to compete with stuff that's been up for a while. So let's keep going. This one was up 3 years ago in 2022, right? I'm a little extra. This one was up 3 years ago, 2022. So again, most of these designs are pretty old. Here's another one, Dabbing Easter. This one has been up for 4 years. So this is another 2021 design, right? And so Easter is what I'm seeing a lot right now. But what I found after looking for a while is that this holds true across all of these designs. Here's just a regular nature, boring one, nothing special about it. It has been up since 2023. Penny for your thoughts, so just a regular simple text design. This one has been up for 6 years, so 2019. And so what we're seeing is that these designs that are doing really well have been up for a long time. What does that mean for you? Well, first, what I've learned is that you're probably not going to do a get-rich-quick scheme by doing print on demand. If you make a lot of money really quickly, a lot of times it's going to be more on trends. When I first started, I did hit a trend and it made a lot of money really quick, but then the trend died off and I never sold that design ever again, right? The stuff that is selling the most for me is sort of the evergreens that can sell year round and that can sell year after year and that can continue to grow year after year. So the longer I do this, the more money they make and the more passive it is. So, in looking at my top 25 selling designs for the last 90 days, All but 4 of them were made well over a year ago. Um, which means that the money I'm bringing in now is based off of work that I did over a year ago. So it's kind of passive now. If I sat around and did nothing, those designs would still keep selling, right? And so the work I'm doing now, I'm counting on it making me money more next year or the following year. So I'm always kind of thinking a little bit more in advance, unless I hit something that's trending right now that's going to bring in money in the short term. That's great, but then it'll die off. And so if you're looking into making this more of a passive income stream, you want things that are evergreens, things that can sell year after year. So I scroll down a little bit more, and what I'm going to show you here, this is my design right here, this one. So this is the one I'm talking about. And so if I'm just going to go ahead and open this, I can show you. So this is my design. I uploaded it 4 years ago in 2021, right? It has 90 reviews so far. And so let's see if I can go ahead. I'm just going to open this on Amazon for you. And so I have it opened on Amazon right now, and you can see that it is Amazon's choice. And so having it say Amazon's choice and having 90 reviews, that really pushes it towards people. And I have had a lot of people, by the way, copy this design. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't copy it. Because there are a lot of other versions that look very close to this that people have copied, that people have put up at a much lower price. Trust me, there are hundreds of almost identical versions of this. And mine still sells way more than any of those, because mine is at the top of the search list, because it is what Amazon is recommending, and because it has all of the ratings. So even if you were to copy it and put it up for like $14.99, people are still going to be like, I don't trust that. It doesn't have any ratings. This one's Amazon's choice. And so some of that does just come with time. Now, this is one, like I said, that I'm not advertising. So it's not a sponsored product or anything like that. It's just had enough time to mature. And you may also notice that this is a tank top. So it really doesn't sell necessarily super great all year. It doesn't sell obviously as much in the winter as it does in the summer. It's really popular around spring break and heading into summer because it's a tank top. But that just goes to show that your top seller might not be a t-shirt. Although I would say that on the whole, most of what I sell are t-shirts. Most of what I sell are t-shirts. If you took this out of the equation, the vast majority of what I sell is t-shirts. But because this is my number one seller, it happens to be a tank top. And so looking at, again, I looked at the stats here. I did a little math and I looked at the stats for this. And this one tank top has made up about 42% of my sales lifetime. So about 42% of my sales. So what does that mean? To some extent, it means you're one design away. I like that, one design away from having a top seller. And you never know which one it's going to be. If somebody guessed, would this be your top seller? I would never have guessed this one. Is it my best design? Heck no. Is it something that I would have thought would have like really taken off? No. I've got tons and thousands of designs up, a bunch of designs that are a lot better. I like to think that my design skills have improved a lot over the last 4 years. And yet, you don't know which one is going to take off. You don't know which one is going to do really well. And sometimes it's the ones that you don't think will do well that suddenly do incredibly well. And sometimes it just literally takes time. And so if you're discouraged, maybe because you have a bunch of designs up and maybe they haven't sold yet, I'm telling you, don't get discouraged. You got to give them time, and they could end up exploding for all you know. So just keep that in mind. Also keep in mind, don't copy existing designs. So when I showed you what was selling now and all of those designs that have been up there for years and years and years, it's going to be hard to compete with them. So if you just go and say, this is what's selling now, I'm going to copy or make my own version of this, it's going to be hard to compete with that. The best way, well, what I've found is more of that blue ocean strategy, where you create a design that doesn't exist yet. Like you maybe say, okay, I'm going to take a drinking design, but I'm going to do a totally different spin. You don't want to copy anybody else, even if it's your own version of their design. If their design has been up for years and it's already selling, it's going to be hard to compete with. So you really want to kind of create your own. So I have made a lot of designs that I just kind of came up with my own saying or came up with my own design or my own style. And what you'll find is a lot of people that are making a lot of money consistently and over a period of time are the people who are creating their own designs and then kind of doing their own thing in their own style. And so that's kind of my recommendation there. If you're looking at this as I want long term um, money, I want consistent money, I want passive money going forward, and I want it to be able to grow. And so those are my recommendations there for that. Oh, and in terms of niches, that was another thing I wanted to mention. So, and again, looking just at my last 90 days and looking at just my top 25 sellers, 7 of my top 25 top selling designs were somehow alcohol based, right? So this one support day drinking, right? So it's a drinking design. I can't tell you why, but drinking designs do well. It's another one of those evergreen niches, just like Pride is an evergreen niche, just like, teachers are kind of more of an evergreen niche. Anything that's more like drinking designs, those are good evergreen niches. And so I found, yes, 7 out of the top 25 were somehow drinking designs. The rest are a little bit more random. Um, but if you do find a niche that you have looked at your sales and you're like, this general niche is doing well, double down, make a lot more designs based on that niche. Not the same design, but just kind of based on that overall niche. And I'm back on my analytics again because there was just a couple more points that I wanted to make based on what I've learned just from looking at these analytics. Number one, obviously, my top seller was a tank top. My second top seller in the last 90 days was a sweatshirt. And then the third top seller was a V-neck. And so those aren't what you would expect to see as the top 3 top sellers. Normally, I would expect the standard t-shirt. After that, I've got a lot of standard t-shirts, standard t-shirts, standard t-shirts. But my top 3 sellers were not necessarily standard t-shirts. And then I've got pullover hoodie, tank top again, V-neck again. And so I do have a lot of things other than just the standard t-shirt that is selling. Also colors, right? Black is the number one selling, so you'll see all the colors. So for this one, 426 were black. The next top seller was actually white at 174. So, and then if you take white out of the equation, they're all darker colors. They're all heather gray or navy or blue or purple. So those are usually the top sellers there. But I can get quite the variety. So as I come down here, what I've got is still 8 black, but then 2 light blue, 2 this kind of light green, 1 gray, like 1 slate, 1 navy, 1 yellow. I mean, they can be all over the place sometimes with colors too. So I usually do offer a lot of colors because even though I know that black is going to sell the most, I'll get a lot of other random colors. I mean, when I come up to this one, 20 are black, but then 12 are pink and 11 are purple, right? So black is usually always the top seller, except in this one. This one actually has 5 white and 4 black. That's an anomaly because every other one you'll see black is the top seller. So black is the top seller, or black in some of those darker colors. Here, mostly black, and then 1 yellow and 1 gray, right? Interesting. But for the most part, black is usually the top seller. Now, when I come down to this design, this is 11111. So for it's only had 6 sales, and every one of the 6 sales was a different color, and so that's kind of funny there too. But for the most part, blacks, those darker colors, the blacks, the heathers, the navy blues, the black, the heather, the navy blue, maybe the purple in there, but that's most of what I see for my popular colors. And so I think I covered most of what I wanted to share with you in terms of analytics. It's always good to look at your analytics because it's going to give you a good idea of making sure that you're going in the right direction, seeing what is popular, managing expectations in terms of knowing, how long do things typically take before they start selling, knowing what colors sell, knowing what products sell. And I know it's tough when you first start off, you don't have a lot of analytics to go through. So when you first start off, maybe you've only been doing this for less than a year, so you don't have multiple years to look at. So it can be a little bit tougher. But once you've been doing it a while, you can start looking back over the last, 5 years and seeing trends, and then it can help kind of focus you a little bit better. Print on demand really is a business. I mean, when I started, I was just looking for some side hustle, extra cash. And, the idea of a business didn't even cross my mind. If I could bring in an extra $100 a month, that was great. Now that I've been doing it long enough, I've developed into, yes, it's a business. Yes, this is a long-term strategy. Yes, I'm hoping to, get passive income that continues to grow. Um, and I don't put a lot of time into this anymore. Amazon hasn't had a niche up in quite some time, so I'm not uploading a lot of designs recently. So most of what I'm making right now on my Amazon merch is just pretty passive. I might upload a design here or there, but for the most part, it's just kind of passively bringing me in money every month, which is great, and it frees up my time to work on other business ideas and other things, such as my YouTube channel and my Etsy shop that I'm starting to put a little bit more time into. And of course, the print on demand course that I'm working on for you guys. And so it's just kind of helpful to have some of these insights. If you have any questions about this, drop it in the comments section below. I try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. If you have video requests, again, you can put that in the comment section below and I'll try to get you added to my list. I know this was a little bit of a long rambling video, but I just wanted to share some of the things that I had learned because you guys were so patient and did wait until the end of the video. I do have another 5 bonus niches for you. And since we are approaching the end of the school year, I decided to give you guys some great graduation niches. And again, you're going to have to find ways to kind of make these your own, but know that graduation, of course, is coming and will be a popular seller. So without any more waiting, these are going to be your 5 bonus niches. Number 1, I graduated. Can I go back to bed now? Number 2, I paused my game to graduate. Number 3, class of 2025, hashtag done. And obviously you could scale that out for each year. Number 4, I graduated. Now I'm like smart and stuff. And number 5, finally done with this BS. And so that's for the bachelor's degree. And so that's kind of funny there too. And I'm sure you can think of lots of other funny graduation style designs. They're great seasonal designs, although they usually aren't going to be year-round sellers. They will sell year after year. And if you miss a particular time frame, don't worry. Just think of it as, well, it will sell next year. So if, let's say, Easter is, kind of come and gone, too late to do any Easter stuff, right? But if you were to start doing Easter stuff right now, it might have a chance of selling next year or the following year. And so you can always think about that too. Even if it's too late for a particular niche, it's not too late for it for the following year. And so when you really start thinking about it long term, you can start designing for things that are coming up way in the future, or even things that have already passed that'll come up again next year. And so really start thinking long term. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing really great. I hope you're learning a lot. I hope you're continuing to grow. I hope your portfolio is continuing to expand and your business is continuing to grow. And I do hope to see you guys again. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.